And we're live. Welcome to the Rican Show. And I'm here with Laura of Trans Against Groomers. And I'm excited to have her on. We've been trying to get this set up for about 2 months. And now we're finally here. So I'm going to let Laura introduce herself.
Hello, everyone. My name is Laura. I go by Laura Sky. I'm with Trans Against Groomers, as well as Gays Against Groomers. Yeah, I'm glad to have this talk with Carlos here. And yeah, so let's get it started.
Well, let's go. You know what? Let's start from. I want people to know your story. So let's say,
Oh,
when did you? When did you get started? When did you feel like gender dysphoric that you felt um, trans?
hmm. Pretty much as early back as I can remember. Um,
Okay.
I would say around it was 7, 8 when I really think I've been asked this plenty of times.
Mhm.
That's when the okay, something's not right, came into
Uh,
play. Um, I remember because we were doing some kind of family day. Um,
okay.
well, family day. It was a bunch of moms, taking the kids
Mhm.
out to, and um, the boys wanted to go and do a little rough housing, and really I wanted to go with one of my girlfriends. Her name was Megan,
Mhm.
and you know uh, my brother and uh, a few of his friends, and I had some boyfriends obviously, but
Mhm.
and they were kind of like, if I remember correctly, they were trying to get me to go over and play with them, so I was just like fine. But as time went on, I just kind of noticed that this was not natural. Like I didn't
Mhm.
belong in that space. Um,
Okay.
but I think it really was evident, probably more in junior high, high school. Um, Granted, also this was back in the early 2000s, so I'm 30.
Okay.
I'm actually about to be 32 now, but
Yeah, I will be 44, so I'm a little bit older than you,
a little
just a
bit
little
older.
bit.
We're still young. I don't feel old at all. I still feel like I'm 26, if anything. But yeah.
My grays will give it away.
Oh no, that's just wisdom. Um,
um, but yeah, so 2000s.
yeah.
So
Before
I'm
all of
trying to think.
this
So
stuff.
so so in those 2000s, did you like how was your family with it? Did you speak about it with your family, or is this something you kept to yourself?
Um, you know what? There was this one instance where I was with my father, and he was. I don't know how it started, but we were talking about family, and I was wanting more siblings, um, because I'm the middle child, actually. I have an older brother and a
Oh,
younger. Yeah.
me too.
Um, really,
Yeah,
the
I'm the
middle.
middle. I'm the only boy and the middle child.
Okay. Um, no, he was saying how he's always wanted a girl, and
Mhm.
I told him, I think I was like 9 actually. Now that I remember this, I was young. I was just like, well, what if I was your daughter or something like that? What if I became your daughter? I can be the daughter or
Mhm.
something like that. And he kind of chuckled, because he's thinking, okay, my child doesn't really, know any better. And he was just like, no, that's okay. I'm glad that having you as
Mhm.
a son. And I remember feeling, damn. I mean, I didn't say that, but I was thinking like,
Mhm.
wow, this is like, I don't want to be the son though. I did want to be the
Yeah.
daughter. You know. Um,
Mhm.
and again, this was like 2000 or 1999 when I come to think
Okay.
about it. We didn't have gender ideology like we're having now. Um, but it was just something in here, that was just telling
Mm.
me like this is not
So what
right.
about and okay,
But
so you were about how old in that? You said 1999, so
9 years
that
old.
is okay.
Yeah.
So um when did you start um like
Showing him.
presenting? Like when did you start? Is there a point you started, let's say, did you go straight to maybe like cross-dressing type of thing, or did you maybe did you just feel gay and wanted to, you felt attracted to boys?
Um, as a child.
Well, I mean, like as you got teenager, like,
As a
once you started
Yeah.
getting, because I know nine, no, I mean, like, but when you got like 12, 13, once you started hitting puberty,
Right.
that you felt the same way.
Yeah, I would say I was 12, 13. Specifically remember this vividly, actually. I was in the car with my mother, and I was always very close to my mother too, and my father. In some ways, we tried to have that family, uh, close family, and
Mm.
we were driving the car, and I knew what sex was. At that time, I knew what homosexuality was. Gay, lesbian, all that, and because I also have a aunt that's a lesbian too, um, and I found that out like around 10, 11 years old what that all was. But yeah, we were driving the car, and my mom was just like, you know what, if you or your brothers ever came out as gay, or ever were gay, she didn't say come out, she's like, if
Mm.
you guys were ever gay, you know me and your father would still love you. And I remember looking up at her. I'm like, "Yeah, mom, I know, but I'm not gay." Like, I know. She was just trying. She felt something, you know.
Yeah.
Um, and she kept trying. She's like, "I'm just saying, because I always want you to feel like you can talk to me about anything." And she kept driving, and I looked up at her. And I was just like,
Mhm.
I didn't say this out loud. I was thinking, I was like, "Mom, I'm
Mm.
not gay, but it's something
Mm.
else, and I'm scared." You know.
Mm.
And it was in junior, and now that story's over, right? But
Yeah.
it was in later on in junior high, high school. I was, and I grew up Christian, conservative, Pentecostal. So,
Oh,
you know,
Pentecostal.
Pentecostal.
Yeah, I know Pentecostals.
Yeah, yeah, exactly. So
Yeah.
you already
I got
know.
offline story. I got offline story. I won't share it on camera.
Okay.
Let's just say I dated in high school. I dated a pastor's daughter.
Uh,
I'll leave it
yeah,
at that.
yeah. Let's talk about that. When we're
Yeah,
out of
offline. Anyone
offline.
who has ever dated a pastor's daughter may get the joke behind that stuff because they're
Yeah,
crazy. I'll just say that they are nuts.
yeah. It's very headachy. I'll say that. I'll just leave it at that.
Hmm.
But
Yeah.
no, I was Pentecostal. We were Pentecostal and everything.
Mm.
I was raised in the church. I was also homeschooled too.
Oh
But
wow. Okay.
yeah, but I had a very social life. We were actually part of a
Mhm.
homeschooling group. Growing up, they actually have those. Um,
Oh no, I have it here where I live. The church I go to, a couple of parents send their kids to a Christian school, not a Catholic, but a Christian school, and
mhm.
another. Um, oh, someone said there's lag on my side. The lag on my side is probably a connection. Let me see my connection. Yeah, it's just probably a speed thing, because I have I don't have it a hardwired. It's Wi-Fi.
Oh, I'm kind of noticing it now.
But oh, okay. Well, then don't look at me. Just listen, and we'll be fine. Because that's as long as the sound's coming in fine, then we're good.
Okay.
Um, so, all right. So you're saying about we're talking about the homeschool. Yes, so homeschool around me is a big thing too. A lot of people, they'll do group, like there's always a group of parents who do homeschooling together,
Yeah.
and it's also so like that their kids can have that social experience that you
Yeah,
don't get from a normal regular school experience.
right, right. And there's more also, a lot of people, um, I don't know if homeschoolers are still doing this, but in the 90s, they, you know, there was that group, and there was also church. There was also, sports that we were involved in. We were involved in
Hmm.
things like community.
Hmm.
Were we did art classes. There was all kinds of stuff. So I had friends all over, so I was very social actually, very social. And
I know, because you seem so shy right now.
right, uh, yeah. When I tell people that I used to be homeschooled, they think I'm lying or something. I'm like, I swear to you, I'm not lying. I sat
That's like,
in the room and learned about Napoleon.
well, I find that people who tend to be homeschooled, they tend to be really smart because they're always ahead of their grade level.
Mhm.
Like my nephew was homeschooled, and I think he might have graduated like high school like at 16 or something like that.
Oh wow, I wasn't that smart.
Oh, he's
Uh,
he's really bright. He's actually studying to be a PT now, a physical
oh
therapist.
yeah, yeah. Okay.
Mhm.
Very nice actually. I actually know. I have a good friend that's doing that right now too. So good. Okay.
Okay, so then college, did any like high school? Well, did college?
I
Did you go?
I, I skipped something. High school. I
Uh,
was thinking, because I grew up this way. I was just like,
mm,
it's not gay. It's something else. I was
mm,
freaking out, internally, and um, I remember thinking, based off of how I was raised and everything like that, the church. Um, Not that I was raised like that. I'm sorry, but correction.
mm.
Like being in the church, like we were, and hearing stuff in church. Um, that homosexuality is abomination and blah blah all that stuff. I thought that I had some kind of demon in me because I was just I
Oh
did
wow.
yeah I didn't hear about it. I didn't I was just like, I knew that I was supposed to be a woman. Um, and I was 17, 16, 17, when
Okay.
I started doing my own research,
Yeah.
on the internet and everything. And I realized, oh my God, I found, you know, medical stuff about trans. I was just like, gender dysphoria. Yeah, they call I rest
Yeah.
mouths too, but basically gender dysphoria,
Yeah.
um, and I was like, that I think that's it. This is what makes sense. Um, and then I started reading about it was some forum about testimonials, and trans women giving advice to baby trans at the time. This was like what 2007, something like that. I was just like, wow. So I was kind of like going through a boom, for me. And then college.
Sorry, if I'm looking down, I just want to apologize. I'm trying to get my wife to turn off like any device so it will help with the bandwidth.
Oh no, you're fine. You're
So
fine.
no, I just feel rude. I'm listening to you, but I'm like, I don't want you to think that I'm not because that's what I'm trying to get the lag away. So it's like the less devices on the Wi-Fi,
Right. No.
the faster it'll be. So sorry.
No.
No, I just what I heard, what you struck me is that when you said that you felt like you had a demon, and then
Yeah.
but then at least you got into the research and were able to determine your gender dysphoria. So once you made that determination, like once you were reading that stuff, did you seek like treatment or anything, or did you just try to like self treat?
I was 16, 17, so
Uh-huh.
and still obviously under my parents' rule. So
Yeah.
my best thing was to try to pray it away. Um,
Okay.
and it was very hard. I was so close so many times um, talking to my mother about it, and I did
Okay.
not, and yeah, it was college. when I was 18 and I finally went to go see somebody, my family
Okay.
doctor. Um, and we talked quite a bit on the matter, multiple times. And, granted, I was still under my family's insurance,
Hmm.
and, I made a kind some kind of excuse about like, oh, I just want to talk to him about it.
Hmm.
And he, again, this was in 2009. Yeah. Um,
Hmm.
and he was, all through those discussions, I went probably, 6, 7 times to him. Um, and he was, you know, wanting to talk to colleagues, and push it further. I said no, obviously. Um,
Hmm.
and not that long after that, I actually met my first trans woman. And I was just like, we got to talking and everything. And,
Hmm.
you could tell that she was in that transitional period of where she was about to start passing, more.
Okay. Yeah.
And I found out about her because people were talking about her, and just in mean ways,
Oh, yeah. It's people don't. That's why it's like I get annoyed when people go, "You like transphobic," and it's like, no, you know, I sympathize, with someone that with your lived experience. I don't, especially what you went through, like looking like what you described, how you probably felt alone at the time before you made
oh
this
yeah,
first before this trans friend, you were scared to talk to anyone, and thinking that you had a demon inside you. That's some scary thoughts for um
a
an
lot.
adolescence to have.
Hmm.
Especially at that age, you're 17, and you're about to become an adult, and um
Oh, I was 13, 14 when I thought I had a demon.
oh, okay,
It's
but well,
13, yeah,
but like I said, adolescence, because still, all that life stage is the adolescence, 13 to 18, 19. You're
hmm,
still trying to, just in the beginning of finding yourself out. Even then, I'm 44, I still find new things about myself.
yeah,
um and I feel I feel bad for what you had to go through, especially going through it alone. So, I understand why people want to be more accepting of it, want to be more welcoming of it. But um we have a saying in Spanish. We say pena es la madre de jódate. And it's a bad word, but it's like basically it means like sympathy is like the best way to screw yourself over. That's is the nice way to say it. But sometimes you got to be careful you're too over sympathetic, and I
yeah.
think that's where we're going as what's going on right now.
No,
We're letting. God, I'm sorry, I didn't mean to cut you off.
oh, no, no, no. I said I completely agree with you. We're going, I don't even recognize where we're at anymore,
Hmm. Well, yeah, I mean, the good conversations you and I were having, we were talking about how, um, wise. Well, let's start here. Trans against groomers, gays against groomers.
Hmm.
Is like why? And
Why,
I know it
why
sounds like
this?
open-ended question. Why? Why do they exist? Why do they have to exist?
Why do we have to exist?
What's your hmm
If
what's your take on that?
what's my take on that?
Yeah, why did so why did you join? What's with your experience, why did you join these organizations?
Um, so I noticed it. What was it? A year ago, a little over a year ago, actually. I was just like, no, 2 years ago. I was just like, why are trans kids popping up more? Why are they showing this? And a year ago is when I started speaking out about it. Just in my conversations.
Mhm.
And sometimes online I would post something, or share some article. I went live a couple times too, talking about it. Um,
Mhm.
and joined with people too. So,
Well, that's how
but
I found you in the first place.
yeah, right. But I was asked to join Gays Against Groomers, Trans Against Groomers
Mhm.
by Maddie. It's Maddie. He's the trans man, British.
Probably maybe by face.
Yeah, yeah.
I
Just
don't.
gag and tag, and you'll see it.
Let's see.
You there, Cross?
Okay. No, sorry, no. So I'll look them up. I don't want to get caught in a
Oh
tangent,
no.
go into the weeds. So, um, well, what we were talking to go into that, then like I said, why? So you started talking out about it because you see what's going on.
Yeah,
You know, why do you think? Why do you think it needs to exist? Like, what's you see the
yeah.
changes, you see that they're pushing the trans stuff on kids. Um, why do like why do you say they use groomers? Like, why is the term groomers? Because I know people. I mean, I know why it's used, but why do you feel that it was chosen? Like, and I think it's a perfect word because what's going on is just like is indoctrination,
It's grooming.
huh?
It's literally
Yeah,
grooming. And Jamie's talked about this. Our president,
yeah.
and many other people have talked about this. That's part of the organization. We shouldn't exist. You know, I personally don't want to exist, have this happen. Because
Yeah.
you know we should be developed enough in society to know that kids are off limits. You know, to everything. We should keep them as
Mhm.
innocent as possible for as long as possible. That is our most vulnerable. Um, and um, people don't like that. That's when people go like, wait a minute. They were accepting of LGBT. For a very long time. It's been proven that LGBT acceptance has been declining at
Mm.
a record pace actually. Um, and it's because the kid stuff, I truly believe, and also the I don't want to deviate too much on this, but
Yeah.
the trans women in sports, trans women that aren't really wait, how open do you want me to be?
You could be as open as honest as you want.
Okay.
That's it's however you feel comfortable.
Okay, yeah. Trans women that aren't really transsexuals. um I call them fake trannies. That's me. I call them that. And
Uh,
we, what I mean by that is like, men that will use the trans label and predators, and they'll go into the women's spaces. We are seeing that all the time with self ID now. We're seeing that in the UK, Europe,
mhm.
and actually in Scotland. There's a lot of that happening, and I have friends in Scotland that have been sharing with me some stuff that's been going on. It's quite disturbing. And even here in America, we have that.
I'm gonna
And
put. Well, it's funny that you segued into that. I'm gonna
yeah.
put the article for people to see that we were talking about.
Oh,
Because
okay.
since you brought up Scotland, this is from the Scottish Sun, where it goes, transgender woman raped two females with her penis, and like you and I had this conversation offline where I said, no, I put this on Instagram. I said a rapist doesn't get respect from me.
No,
It's like for
no,
me, it's
you're
man raped two females with his penis,
with his penis. Yeah.
and
Why are we gonna?
he's
Is that
no. Go
is
ahead. Sorry.
is that him?
What happened?
Is that him?
No, no.
No.
That's just a commercial.
Oh, okay.
I think
No,
no. Is that him? No, I don't think they show a picture of the guy.
Oh, okay.
But here's if you see this article, the guy is using it as a defense for rape. If you read the article, it says here, uh, his name is Bryson, said that both alleged victims consented to sexual activity in separate instances. He told the court, "I would never hurt another human being." Um, but what was it? I read here in the article. It says, giving the first evidence that she told the court she was struggling. Here goes, giving evidence in the first defense witness on Friday. He told the court that he was struggling with his sexuality and having issues emotionally when he met the first alleged victim in 2016. And I changed the pronouns because, like I said, I don't give a rapist
No,
respect.
respect. No, no, I do not either.
I go, you know what? He doesn't want his penis no more. He could have it removed.
But let's go to the
He doesn't need
let's
to have
go.
the vagina. Just remove it.
Yeah, chop chop chop.
No,
Uh,
he's a rapist. So I'm
yes,
like,
appease anybody or take up for anybody that's gonna be
I was gonna say,
I'm not gonna do that.
it, it's funny that you were talking about how LGBT acceptance is going down.
Hmm.
Um, Creative Minds, we're going to get to that in 1 second. I just want to, I'll show you Creative Minds comment in 1 second because I see the comments. I have to bring them up for you to see it.
Okay,
But
yeah.
when gay marriage got passed, when the Supreme Court, right? Supreme Court is the one that passed the gay marriage.
Hmm.
I remember at the church, one of the pastors, he tells me, he goes, pedophilia is next.
Yeah,
And I remember telling him, that's extreme. I said, it's just two people getting married. And I'm mad that he's right. He was right.
me too.
Because I didn't want him to be right. Because some of my best friends are gay. My best friend of over 30 years is a lesbian.
Yeah,
I got cousins, I got family members who are gay. And seeing what's going on, it just makes me mad that he was right.
yeah, same. No,
Because that seems where they're going, because they're trying to push the P into the LGBT plus.
oh, you can't say that anymore. It's called MAP.
It's called, yeah.
No,
Yeah.
fuck. Gonna,
I
no,
know you fucking with me. I know
fuck,
that.
you're
It's
a
like,
pedo.
yeah, no. Like I said, there's no respect for rapists. I have no respect for pedophiles.
No, yeah,
I'll uh,
uh,
I
and I
will
think that
never use map only in mocking,
yeah,
just like you just
exactly.
did.
I yeah, I won't. I'm not gonna do that. No, never. That's
Yeah.
not a that's not a thing. You're a sicko. Um,
Yep.
but I would say I had the same thing. That was what 2014, 2015 when I heard my pastor at the time say pedophilia is next. Same thing from the stage, the pulpit, whatever. And
Oh
then
no,
he
mine
also
told me this in person. He didn't tell me. He didn't say this out in front of everybody. He just said it to me like we were having a casual conversation about the whole
oh
gay
no
marriage debate.
no he actually said it on the pulpit on the
Wow.
yeah, he actually said it. He's just like pedophilia is next, and then the animal kingdom. I'm like, and I was sitting in the pew. I was just like, what the fuck?
And
That
you're just there
far?
like, "Ugh."
Yeah, I was disgusted. I was
Yeah,
just
you're
like,
like me when he said it. I was just there. It was around 2013, no 2014, and I was
mhm.
just there like that. Just he didn't say the bestiality stuff, but he
Oh
said the whole thing about gay marriage, and I'm just there like, but going comparing it to pedophilia, and I'm like, it's just gay marriage. It's not
yeah, yeah,
pedophilia.
yeah. And I think, yeah, I was just like, you're really extreme, and because that's during the time that I was like questioning everything, literally everything. But I think when it comes down to it, for one, I am upset with them because they pretty much proved the far right's, thought process right. It was where we were a Trojan horse, and honestly, I did not really see that coming. but we've been hijacked. The LGBT has, because normal LGBT, everyday LGBT people, uh,
Yeah.
and I know a lot, um, and we live simple lives, normal lives. We just want to go about our day. We, want to dedicate ourselves to one person, start a family, uh, want to be part of the community. Some of us are in church, two of my best friends, they're lesbians actually. And
Mhm,
um, they go to church. They're Christians. And
mhm.
um, yeah, that's not a, but you see that this is the thing. Um, you see this popping up everywhere, and it's going quicker. I've noticed all these, the rapists, the pedophiles, the
Oh,
alphabet people. It's growing more and more.
mm.
Um,
Oh, I'm
oh
gonna put this comment up here because
no, you're fine.
uh, it goes here. She put Sonia put the anti-LGBTQ etc. accusation when someone points out grooming behaviors, and she goes, she just learned of a troubling organization that's been around for quite some time called NAMBLA. And I'm gonna tell you honestly, Sonia, the only reason I know what NAMBLA is South Park. The first time I heard the word NAMBLA was South Park had an episode where they were making fun of NAMBLA,
Hmm.
and I thought it was a joke. And then I had to search and found out that NAMBLA was a real organization. I don't know if have you ever heard of NAMBLA?
It sounds very familiar. I'm pretty sure that the
It's
member gave.
I was gonna say it's the North American Man Boy Love
Yes,
Association.
yes. That was the first one. That was, I do know now. Yeah. I know it as the whole thing, not just the acronym.
Yeah.
Yeah, that was the first move that they made a while back. Correct?
Hmm.
Yeah,
Yeah, that's yeah.
yeah.
Yeah, I
That's
remember hearing TED Talks with his TED Talks that they do, I think is in Austin. And then they do the TED Talks where there was a lady, she was talking about how, you know, that the whole map stuff, that's when the whole map kind of became mainstream because she was there in the TED Talk saying how, we need to be accepting of pedophiles and we need to stop stigmatizing them. And instead of calling them pedophiles, we should call them minor attracted persons. And I'm just like,
I.
here you
Yep.
go. That's what
Yeah.
you get.
Yep. I actually saw that. A lot of us on Gag Attack saw that, because that wasn't that long ago. That was last year. Yeah,
Um, I
last
think it
year.
was no, I think it's been I want to say I think it might have been pre-COVID, so it might actually be like 2 or 3 years.
Really, when she spoke.
Yeah, yeah,
Oh,
when she
okay.
spoke.
Okay, I just saw it last year, the speech,
Yeah.
and um, I will say they're kind of, savvy. I'll give them that. How they do this. They put it in a very, educational uh,
Format.
format. Yeah, and they show it to people that are wealthy, people that have status, people that have influence, and then people they're like, oh yeah, wow, and people, common people
Yeah.
that don't really. I'm not talking about like 1%ers. I'm talking about
Mm,
um, the 20% or whatever.
yeah. So, Creative Minds has a question. She goes,
Okay.
when do you think it's okay for a child to start transitioning?
Hmm. Never.
It's they should wait till they're adult, basically.
Yes. Yes. This transitioning is an adult thing. It's not for kids. It's not. Um, my mom has even asked me this. I don't know if it's okay for me to.
What
As
you
okay.
you could talk about whatever you feel comfortable. I don't want you, you don't have to worry about. I let you say an F bomb, so you shouldn't worry about how
Oh
personal you get.
yeah, that's right. I'm sorry.
It's okay. It's YouTube. I mean, it's fine.
Okay, good. No, my mother, she's asked me this too quite a few times, and each time the answer has still not changed. And this was before, GAG came out and tag. Um, so I told her no, because the amount of true transsexuals that actually exist are very few, and lots of children have gender dysphoria or body dysmorphia, or because they're going through all of these changes, especially in today's society, um, with all of these pressures, social media, uh, coming down on them. It's even more so, I would say. And that's actually been proven by, uh, doctors, psychologists. They've been seeing uh, more an influx. That's what I want to say. An influx of
Yeah.
children that have gender dysphoria. But this is the thing. Most of them, the majority of them, grow out of it. I've talked to friends
Mhm.
even that they're adult.
Well, yeah, it's a social contagion. This is
What
oh no, that's so funny because you heard what I just said, right?
a social?
Well, no,
Yeah,
Sonia, one of my commenters, she put, I believe it's a social contagion.
it
And
is.
it's, you're absolutely correct,
It is.
Sonia, because it's kind of like, um, I think me and Sonia, I think we're about the same age. Uh, so in the early 90s, I mean, women still do it, but it used to be something where, um, so in the 90s, it was very popular for women to cut themselves, for people to do cutting.
That was also in the 2000s, early
It was
2000s.
still in the 2000s, but it wasn't as much as it was going on in the early 90s. It was
Mhm.
like it was out of control.
Early 90s.
And
Oh,
what it was is like if you had one group of girls, once one of them did it, all of them did it with the cutting. Like it just was like all of them. It was like it was their clique, their group. So it was like one of them did it. Oh, we got to do it. And if you see the what goes on sometimes uh with the trans issue with the kids, that's
mhm.
what's going on. Is like you'll see one kid, oh, I'm trans, or maybe the other one will come out, I'm gender non-binary, and the other one will be like, no, no, I gotta top you, I'm pansexual,
Yeah.
you know,
Oh, no,
and
no, pansexual is not cool anymore. It's not as cool. You have to be gender fluid or non-binary. You need to be a
yes,
non-binary trans woman pansexual. That's what you need to be. Something like that.
women of color.
What? Yeah,
It's-
yeah. The more identity
no,
you have, the better.
yes, the more power you have.
Yeah, the more status you have in the alphabet, the
Yeah.
mafia. Um, no, I like this though. I do. It's a social contagion. But I think it's set there on purpose. To be honest, if I'm being honest, my own
Yeah.
views, I think it's set there on purpose. I do.
Well, yeah, I think if you look at it, there's a couple of different elements to it. What I talk about, and how I go. One, like I said, the whole thing about, um, let's say you're getting a patient for life. When you get someone, once you have someone with gender dysmorphia, you have a patient for life. Whether uh, they're in therapy for life. Once they start transitioning, they're going to be uh, you're going to be on hormones the rest of your life.
Yeah,
So you have you're so basically with the trans issue, I believe it's pushing, part of it's big pharma wanting to make money.
it is.
And before people twist that out of context, I'm not saying that trans people don't exist. I'm saying that big pharma wants it to exist even more because they want to make money.
Right, they're medicalizing these people for profit. It's not about helping the children or helping, the people. Even if you're an adult, adult can be groomed too. You know,
Yeah.
it's the kids
Like,
that's making like okay, um,
the
and
kids are easily influenced. Kids
yeah,
could go, one day my daughter, I have a 6-year-old, she'll tell me, I want to be a doctor. The next day she tells me,
I want to
she
foreign.
wants to be an astronaut.
Yeah, and
You
and I think
know,
I use this argument a lot in gag and tag. Why you wouldn't let a kid get a tattoo, right? Would you?
Yes,
You would.
that was the one that Mario said. That was one of the ones that Mario said
Yeah.
about the
Oh.
tattoo. Go ahead. I'm
Oh.
sorry.
No. Yeah. It's the same thing. Or you wouldn't let she or him go to the tanning salon or something like that. Okay. So
Yeah.
why would we give them medications? Why are we going to give them surgeries? You know, because the surgery. I don't care what people say. You know, we keep showing the proof. You know, at Gays Against Groomers, we keep showing the proof. People that aren't even
Mhm.
part of, our organization are showing the proof more. Uh,
Yeah.
that this stuff is happening. Oh, I'm sorry, I just missed something.
Oh no, I'm gonna go back to it, but
Oh,
here, you need to be a baby as an infant.
they, no, no,
A
you don't.
baby. Have you heard that
Yeah,
before?
yeah, I'm not. No, stop. No, I'm not doing that.
No, here, Creative Mind said, even having those demons, like you mentioned, you are happy that you didn't transition as a young child. Are you happy basically that you didn't, that, let's say, are you happy you didn't exist in this time when they would have tried to get you to transition basically like now? Uh, when you figured out when you were 9, when you felt,
Something was very much wrong. Yeah, I don't mind answering that. Is that it?
Yeah, if you don't mind, she goes, if you don't mind me asking, I don't want
Uh,
you to get too personal. But I think you actually did. Maybe she tuned in a little late. 'Cause I think you did explain a lot of that in the beginning of the show,
um,
except that you didn't, except for the first question.
yeah, the first question. Can you go back up and so I just can reread it?
Okay, it goes, even having, even having those demons, like you mentioned, you are happy. It should be probably, are you happy that you
Are
didn't transition as a young child?
Yes, because there's such a thing as what's it called? Bone density. So, and there's all kinds of other things that we're finding out that could be harmful, that is harmful to children on puberty blockers. Um, there's brain swelling, there's hearing loss, vision loss. I mean, I don't see any long term good things about this. This is like detrimental to children. And if I was
Yeah.
on that, I could, it very may well have helped me look better, growing up. But having that puberty, it's. I mean, I hate to keep
Well,
arguing about this.
I was gonna say there was a story I had read one time where, um, there's a the trans female,
Hmm.
uh, she transitioned young, so they put her on puberty blockers. But what ended up happening was the penis didn't develop enough.
Yeah.
So like that, when they went to do the vaginoplasty, there wasn't enough penile material to do the vaginoplasty.
Yeah,
So they had to use.
yeah, that's one of the
Uh,
things I was. There's a lot of elements to this. There's that too. If you're going to get bottom surgery, um, that's a big takeaway too. If you're actually going to go through that part, you need to have that puberty process to grow that tissue. Um,
because they had to use the intestine to do the vaginoplasty,
mhm.
bottom surgery.
Yeah.
Well, and that apparently, I don't know if it's meant to or if it's the truth, but since they had to use some of the intestine, she felt like it smelled like, uh, more like not like a vagina, but like uh, a butthole. What's a
Yeah.
PC way to say it? So she felt like it smelled like ass instead of it smelling like a vagina.
Yeah. That's also a thing too. I've seen articles about that. How this is so disturbing to talk about, but
Oh, if you don't feel comfortable talking
oh
about
no,
it, you don't
I'm fine.
have to.
I'm,
Though.
I'm fine. I just think like the fact what I'm about to say. That I've seen articles and TikTok stuff or whatever about how uh, lesbians should be more accepting of trans women's vaginas and get used to the smell. I wish I could post this up here. I have it somewhere on my phone. Offline, I'll show you. I'll try to find it for you. How they
You know
should.
what? I'll do a quick Google search. You said it
Oh
was.
my
I've
god.
seen that too. It's. You know what? Talk. I'll search because I have a
Okay.
computer. So let me see.
They just talk
Uh,
about how they should be more accepting and pretty much get used to that smell to be more inclusive. That sounds so backwards and rapey, and just also for one, I this is just me, but I mean, I don't think you should. How do I want to say this? Um, Lesbians are same-sex attracted, so lesbians aren't going to go, historically for a trans woman. They're just not, because they're same-sex attracted. They're not this, there's people that say that I'm attractive. There's lesbians that say that I'm attractive, but they're not going to date me. I'm not going to date them, for obvious reasons. But
hmm.
and what we're doing now, and I don't want to get too off of the subject, but I think
Uh,
that's another thing that I've been fighting. Is leave lesbians alone, because these AGPs, these trans rights activists, they're going for the lesbians, and hard too. Like they're saying that they're transphobic if they don't date them.
and
I'm like,
I found
that ain't
I found this one article.
mhm.
I found one article. Let me see. Bring it up. Is BBC?
Okay.
There's the closest I could find really quick. Um, but here's the article. Let me see. I'm gonna take us off the screen so it could people could see it
Okay.
easier. Let's see. Come on. That's a little bit better. So they can hear us, they can't see us. Um, but it goes here for the people watching. It goes here. The lesbians who feel pressure to have sex and relations with trans women.
I've read this
So
article.
so you talk about here goes. Jenny said it. Jenny is a lesbian. She's only sexually attracted to women who are biologically female and have vaginas. Therefore, only has sex and relationship with women who are biologically female. Jenny doesn't think that this should be controversial, but not everyone agrees. She's been described as transphobic, a genital fetishist. Wow, that's a mouthful. A pervert and a turf. A trans exclusionary radical feminist. Um, I'm gonna put this one up too because I think it's since it kind of goes hand in hand.
Okay.
Trans movement tells lesbians to accept that a penis can be a female sex organ.
I've seen both of these articles. Yeah. Yeah.
So if you want to, people who are tuning in and you want to know why this is this um
This is rapey. I'm sorry. I'm just gonna say this is so rapey.
yeah, it really is. It's like kind of like the same issue where they say like uh you're a straight man um should be okay with a female's penis. It's like um he wouldn't be straight if he was okay with the penis.
Um. So
He would have to be bi. You have to be at least be bi if you're okay
I
with the penis.
I would say so. I would say there's some nuance to this. Um.
Uh-huh.
Blair White talked about it long ago, actually, and that's how I went into more research then too, because I've noticed that men that have been interested in me uh, weren't gay. They weren't typical gay men, because I know a lot of gay men actually,
Mm.
and gay men like other men, that look like you.
Yeah.
Um,
Yes.
God, I wish I had this written down. But it's an actual thing they did. they've done brain scans for gay men, heterosexual men, and men that were attracted to trans women. And the men that were attracted to trans women had more of the same brain as heterosexual men than they did anything like with gay men. Does that make sense?
Mm-hmm.
So
It makes
it was
sense because I remember they did a porn survey once,
mm-hmm.
and
Here we go. Here we go.
this is funny. Men prefer porn
Yeah.
where it's women and men together more than they prefer to watch woman on woman.
Mm-hmm.
And these are straight men, and apparently it's just like it's the act, like something I guess is with the act of penetration or something like that, that makes it more attractive toward a man, and that straight men are more inclined to watch um a trans female with a woman than they were to watch a woman with a woman. I
Oh
remember
wow.
reading this and I was like, and the whole thing was it was just the act of penetration that they like better.
Huh. Okay, that's different. I know that trans porn, trans women porn specifically, is like one of the top porn searches. Um, Especially now, actually, they said it's skyrocketed too. Um, I mean, which is, it's commonly known that, I'm not going to deny that trans women are really fetishized. Um, but yeah, I mean, that's a new one. I didn't know
Yeah,
that.
I forgot where I read it, but I found that it stuck in my mind because I found that interesting. I was like, okay,
Trans
I,
women
you know,
penetrate females.
yes, that men would prefer, let's say, trans women with a female. It's a trans woman with a natural female.
Mm-hmm.
Uh,
Biological.
which would well, no, I said that for a reason because I wanted to segue into what we talked about earlier.
Yeah. Oh, okay. Yeah, yeah. Let's bring it back.
So that's why I said natural woman,
Mm-hmm.
as opposed to a woman with a woman. So yeah, no, that's why I said that. There was a reason why I said it that way because I wanted to talk about where I sent it to you because I just literally saw this like an hour before an hour before we're gonna go on, and it goes here. Um, so Aretha Franklin's song "A Natural Woman" blasted by transgender activists. They want it to be taken off of iTunes and Spotify.
My God, stop. Just stop. Y'all are too much.
It goes here. One alleged activist group in Norway is calling for Aretha Franklin's 1968 song, You Make Me Feel Like a Natural Woman, to be removed from both Apple Music and Spotify after they deemed its lyrics offensive.
Can people see my face right now?
No, let's
Oh,
put your face. Let's see. Hold on. Let's see if I got. No, not just mine. I want to put both. Let's get a close up because they need to see. It's like, uh,
no.
look at the eye roll.
Yeah, no.
Got to do the eye roll. I
Okay.
know I'm throwing you off with my whole mirror stuff. Um,
No, that's not good.
but
That's what I would like to say to them. Good luck. Good luck. Try.
yeah, it's really. But what I want to talk about, I put this as the subject. What do
Mhm.
you think is the end goal behind all of this? Like, why do you think the left? Because obviously you're more conservative. I don't want to say you're conservative.
I
You're
am.
conservative.
I am conservative.
Uh,
It's
well,
actually.
okay.
I do want to say that it's actually harder. It was harder for me to come out as conservative as it was for me to come out as trans.
Okay.
That,
Are you more conservative or more libertarian?
um, I would say I'm more
'Cause I think
liber
sometimes it's
I'm sorry?
I was gonna say people think that there's not a difference, but I think,
There is.
libertarian, you could have there's a difference between being conservative and being a libertarian.
Okay, so I would say I'm more libertarian, conservative. So how
Mhm.
libertarians are
Okay.
more center. I'm more
Yeah.
center right. You know,
Okay.
uh,
Bro, I'm in the same boat. I'm there with you.
yeah,
I'm more center right than I
yeah,
am, social issues, you know, like gay marriage, abortion. Um, I'm more center left. Well, now I shouldn't even say now it's more center because it used to be,
now,
center left.
yeah,
It used to be center left to be, safe, legal, and rare, and that's not
yep,
center left anymore. That's
no, no,
center, almost center right now.
yep. It's crazy. They don't know. I feel like they know what they're doing, but they just don't care sometimes. They're pushing people
Mm.
more away from the left. They really are. That's what they did to me too. I mean, granted, I was more, I would say, libertarian for most of my life once I, really dived into politics. But
Hmm.
I would say when I started my transition, I was more left. But then I was just like, mm, no, uh, I'm still a dude. I'm not a biological female. Um, and people hate that. So I think that what's going on now, they're actually, for lack of a better term, they're shooting themselves in the foot. With all of this trans rights,
Mm.
transing kids, just being uh, anti-family, all of this stuff that anti-America, really, because I love it. I'm American through and through. I love America. And they're just, yeah, the polar opposite. Um, but there's definitely an end goal, I would say, too, to that. So, but also, like I was saying before I forget, when I said I'm a
Mm.
still biological male, I'm still a dude. Okay, I may
Yeah.
present differently. You know, I might get all the
Mhm.
surgeries, that all the surgeries I've gotten so far. It may made me look a certain way, but hey, you know, call me a turf. I've been called transphobic, and
Yeah, no trust. Mhm.
I'm just like, how does that happen? I'm like, nice beard. That's
Or
no,
you
honey.
you accept because you accept reality. It's like no matter how many surgeries you have, your
Exactly.
DNA will always be
Male.
biological male.
Biological male. And there's nothing wrong. That's the thing I want to point out there too. There's nothing wrong with the truth. People, they look at it like it's some kind of cancer or something. I was talking to two of my girlfriends the other day, and trans is not trans anymore. It's not. And there's nothing like the whole period thing. We've been seeing a burst in this
Oh,
now. you know,
I seen some TikToks and I'm like, if
no.
people could see my eyes, I roll my eyes at that. I'm like,
Yeah, no. If you like, this is what I've said to them. I'm like, honey, if you're bleeding down there and you have like, you got that surgery, go to the hospital because that ain't
yes.
normal. That's not normal. You
Mhm.
don't have womb. You don't have anything female down there. Okay, you have a neo vagina. Okay, it's literally some. It's not. No, sorry. So
Well,
no,
no, it's like, if you're you know, you go to the hospital
hmm
and the doctors have to check on you. So if you're there and you lie to the doctor and say you're a female,
Yep,
that you're not a trans female,
yep,
they're gonna want to do a pregnancy test. They're gonna want to do all these different type of tests they don't need to do a pregnancy test because
yeah.
that's not gonna happen.
It happens to
It's like,
it, it happens to me all the time.
mm,
At the hospital, like when I have to go for certain things, I actually
yeah,
when I my most recent surgery a while back, they were going through all of these things. I'm like, I'm a trans female, and they looked at me, they're like, oh, and I'm like, none of this matters to me, like it doesn't apply, and they're like,
yeah.
oh, thank you. I'm like, yeah, I'm still a dude, and they all laughed. And it's okay to be funny. I don't. I still you know joke about it. It's fine. I'm not gonna
Well,
like break down.
because you're comfortable with yourself now. It's not
Yeah,
like, when
yeah,
you were younger and you were thinking about this stuff. Now that you're comfortable in your body now. You may
mm,
want to still change certain things, but you're more confident with who you are now.
very, very, yeah. And I want people to see that too. You know, a lot of the real transsexuals were speaking out more. It's not just Blair White, Buck Angel, Sarah Higdon. It's me. I've noticed like an influx of people that's true trans that's been speaking out. And I want to advocate to people like, hey, if you're gonna do this, do it right. And you'll see if you're actually trans and you have gender dysphoria, because the whole point about being trans is having gender dysphoria, not self IDing as trans.
Yeah.
Okay. Um, but once you go through with all of this and you get your surgeries, you save up that money and you'll be happier in the end and you'll accept yourself too more, you know. And that's what happened to me. I remember being very hard. I mean, I'm still sometimes hard on myself, like I want to change more things. But yeah, I was very hard on myself. But, through over the years of doing this, yeah, I've gotten really comfortable in who I am, confident. So,
I was gonna say, don't be like me where I look at, I put my pictures of my weight loss and I still see myself as the fat guy. Don't don't do that to yourself.
yeah,
Be happy, where you're at. I mean, I've
yeah,
seen, if anyone sees your Instagram profile, I mean, they could see pictures of you where, it's like, if if nobody knew you, like I said earlier, like when I said offline, I said, if you go to the bathroom and you're passing, nobody's gonna give a shit.
no,
Nobody's
no,
gonna care.
no, no. It's funny. I swear, people, I'm not going to name any names, but have
Uh-huh.
ruined certain things for trans women, right? But not that long ago, I was in the bathroom, I don't even say women's bathroom, I just say the bathroom. And
Yeah.
this woman, she's like, do you have a pad or a tampon? And I'm like, oh no, I'm sorry, I just ran out. And she's like, and then she like asked somebody else. And thankfully, I was like putting on my lipstick and she was like, I overheard. She's like, "Oh yeah, right here." I'm like, "Okay." And this was before. Do you know who I'm talking about?
That skinny guy that was at the White House.
Um,
Am I right? I don't remember his name. I just know he's annoying.
yeah,
It's like
yeah,
it seems like he's female cosplaying.
yes,
It doesn't. He's not trans.
yeah,
He's female cosplaying.
yes. Autogynephilia to the max, I believe.
Oh
But
yeah,
yes,
there's
that
someone mentioned that in the. I think Sonia said that in the chat. Let me see. There's also, yeah, there you go, autogynephilia.
yep, that's what. Yep, she's right. That's the thing that we've been seeing more and more of.
Dylan. She said Dylan. I
Dylan
don't know.
Mulvaney. That's
Yeah,
his.
there you go.
Yeah, I knew his name. I knew his name. I just didn't want to say it.
Oh,
Um,
sorry. I
no,
I
no.
didn't I I didn't know his name. I knew the name, but I couldn't remember the name
Oh, okay.
because I didn't
No,
I didn't care. I just know, like I said, annoying guy who cosplays as a woman.
yeah, yeah. And you know what? I don't think that he meant to do harm, but he just. This is my own personal opinion. I think that he's what's it called you know what? I take it back. Maybe he just didn't care. He got too caught up in the fame. So um because if you look at it, he only had like a few thousand followers when it first happened, and then he's got like I think he's got close to like 500,000 now, something like that.
Oh,
But
it's
it's
grifting for he's grifting for subscribers, for
yeah,
followers.
hmm yeah,
It's like I want, that's why I'm like, I don't like when we started talking offline first, I'm like, I don't pretend to be someone I'm not. So it's like either you like me or you don't.
Yeah.
If I say something that, if I say something that offends you, let me know. And if it's like I'm not going to try to walk on eggshells. I'm just going to be like,
No, that's
I
exhausting.
didn't mean it is. Or sometimes like, sometimes I like I got to remember. It's like, um, let's say, um the whole pronoun stuff, and I'm saying she and like referring to you as she. if
Mhm.
if someone referred to you as he by mistake, would you flip out?
No, I would flip out. It would definitely hit me. I would be like, "Oh shit," and I would
That
kind of,
you get a complex and go, shit, what the hell what did I wear today that made me look like a guy?
yeah, I would just be like, "What am I doing right now?" Or, "Oh, do I need another surgery?" kind of thing now. Um,
Ooh.
yeah, no,
Okay,
it's
no,
def-
you look great. Don't you know you don't
thank
have to don't do any more surgeries. Just
yeah, no,
you know
I appreciate that kindness. Thank you.
I've heard some of the painful stuff that I that's why I'm like, you know, if I've been called transphobic like on Twitter. I'm like, you don't know me. I like
You're
you
not.
don't know how I feel when I read this stuff and I read all the surgeries like the cheekbone shaving that some I think Blair did that. And it's like, oh my God,
I've
that
had that.
just sounds so
I've had,
painful.
I've had
Oh, you had that too?
my whole face has changed. They
Uh-huh.
have done 7 surgeries now, um, and
Oh, or maybe offline you show me your pre-transition stuff, just out of
yeah.
curiosity, if you don't mind.
Oh, I'm sorry. You want me to?
I Oh no, offline. It doesn't have to be now. You can show me
Oh, okay.
offline.
I don't feel comfortable with that online.
Yeah, no, that's
um,
what I said. You could just offline. We could, um, but I'm going to share with you my whole. I think what's the end game behind all of this. I
yeah.
spoke about it with you a little bit
Hmm.
offline, but I want to put it on the video where I bring this up constantly because I don't think enough people talk about it. And there's a in the 1960s in Maoist China, for the communist revolution, they had a movement called the Four Olds, OLDS, before mouth is a little dry right now, so I don't know if it came out good. um I'm gonna put it up here. Let's see. You can look this up on Wikipedia. It's not something I'm making up for people who read it and not believe. But here's Wikipedia, and here's the four. It's called the Four Olds or Four Old Things. It was a term used by the Cultural Revolution by the student led Red Guards in the People's Republic of China in reference to the pre communist elements of Chinese culture they attempted to destroy. The four olds were old ideas, old culture, old customs, and old habits. And
Sounds familiar.
I could keep going. I could keep going here. It goes, you know, doesn't that sound what's going on right now?
Yeah, absolutely.
It,
Almost verbatim, to be, if I'm being honest. From shaming men for being men, uh,
yeah.
and separating the family. Oh, you're
Oh,
so sweet.
just so you know, you got a compliment. Yeah, I keep looking at your cheekbones. You look great.
Oh, thank you. Thank you so much. That means a lot. No, really, it does. Um, but if you look at the separation, we were talking about this. Were we live already when we were talking about the family?
No, we were offline when we
We were
started because
offline.
I introduced you. Because you had never heard of the concept. I introduced it to you.
Okay, yeah. So I've had a lot of talks about this too. Like they're very smart what they're doing right now. I will say that how they've been doing it. They've been doing this since the 1940s, 50s. Ever since World War II. Um, they've been separating the family. You know, and I'm all for, by the way. I'm all for like women going into work and all that. Please, disclaimer: I'm not saying that's a bad thing, but they're separating the family from each other. You have
Yeah.
the um, husband off, you have the wife off at work, you have the kids at school now being indoctrinated by all of this stuff, you know. And then they come home together and they have maybe an hour together, you know, when before you had the mother, and not just the mother, but you had the aunts, the grandparents, you know, all together. You had a village, you know, uh, help raising the kids, and they got to see
Mhm.
that, you know, big family aspect and what life can and should be, you know. Um, and I think that's a big thing to look at with this. Also, capitalism too. You know, people. You know, I've seen people firsthand. I've seen rich people. I've seen poor people. You know, and also rich and poor can be a mindset too. We can use that, sure. But going out into society and being able, notice that being able to make something of yourself. Uh, starting your own business. And climbing up that ladder and doing more for yourself, making a name for yourself, building your riches, that's literally the American way, forging things from your own hands, men being men, women being proud women, Um, if I could, I'm just going to put this out there. If I could, I would, if God came down and said, do you want to be a biological female? I would say yes. I would love to do that because like I want to have a family one day. I've always wanted that. I've always wanted to be the carrier. I know that will never happen. That's fine. I get that. I'm a trans woman. It's okay to say that. Um, but there's my point being to that is that you know our society is saying that you don't need to be a mom. You can have your freedom. You don't need a man. You can do all this, and this, and you see birth rates declining at a record rate too. I don't know if you're keeping track of
Mhm.
that, but I have been, you know,
The birth rate's down. The male
sperm.
sperm count is down. It's like they say, um, a man, a man in his 20s right now has the same sperm count as a male from uh, in the 1940s of a 60-year-old man.
Jesus.
Yeah. It's all, and they're saying a lot of people are saying it's all the chemicals in the water. It's, like the
Yeah.
uh, chemicals in the soil and all that stuff. So there's a lot of different um, reasons people are giving for that. But
Yeah. Yeah. So I,
um,
I think it's definitely
I think
deliberate.
that's the end goal. I think it's funny that you say that because it's like
Which part?
you see this getting rid of the old customs, getting rid of family, getting
Yeah.
rid of the bonds that bind people, and getting people
Patriot.
away from family to, and like, let's say God. I don't care the religion, but let's say the spiritual structure, and getting people addicted to the state, where state is their God now,
Yeah. I
and
was just
like,
gonna. Yeah.
and wokeism is their church.
Yeah. Yes. Actually. Yeah. But there's no, I don't know if you've noticed this, but there's no happiness. And I mean, have you met a happy woke person? I haven't.
No,
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 I haven't. I've been looking. I'm not being mean or I'm not just being
no.
funny. I'm obviously being sassy about it. But I mean,
Yeah, there's
I
not
have not,
a person who's completely woke that's happy. Like, you have people who have, you know, believe in some of the woke stuff, but not all of it.
yeah,
And the reason that's why they're still kind of happy. It's like once you go full woke, it's like um, you ever seen Tropic Thunder?
no.
Oh man, it's the one with Robert Downey Jr. He does blackface. Oh, anyway, there's a part where Ben Stiller, he did a movie. In the movie, he's an actor who did a movie where he played a retarded character.
Okay.
So Robert Downey Jr.'s character is there, ironically dressed in blackface, telling him, "You don't go full retard."
Oh, okay. Yeah, I remember this. Yeah, that's a
So
meme.
yeah, and it's
Yeah.
like, um, and before people get offended by use the word retard, um, I also have a special needs son, so it's okay.
Yeah.
I'm in the
You're a trans friend, so you're not transphobic now.
yeah, I have a trans friend, and what the hell? It goes here. Your browser has lost connection to your camera.
Oh,
Did my
wow.
camera overheat? My camera overheated.
Has that ever happened before?
No.
Wow, the
Wait,
conversation was that good that the camera just couldn't do it anymore.
yeah, there you go. Wait a minute, let me see something. Which one's my camera? Back in. Wait, did I do that to the right one?
Carlos, I think I'm the only one that's live now. Hello, everyone. Okay. We're going to exit this video, I think. I wish I could see y'all's comments so I could reply, but I don't have them. Okay, here he is. He's
I'm
back.
back.
I
Let's
was
see.
holding them off. I was holding them for you for a while.
Okay, the camera's still not working, but at least the sound's back.
Yes,
I
at
was
least you're.
trying to. Oh wait,
That was
let me see the
awkward.
camera. Just. Oh great. Now my background's missing.
That's a cool green screen.
Oh, there goes my green screen.
It's okay, I promise.
Okay, maybe that's YouTube's way of saying get the hell off.
You're right. You're saying to
let's
much
let's
and
I'm pretty sure we could go on for hours, and I'd love to have you back when we could find stuff like more topics to talk about, and
yeah.
um something controversial happens, or if you just you want to vent, and I have a guest. I had someone who commented. She said, "Hey, sometimes when she gets something in her head, because she has a channel, but she doesn't talk politics on her channel.
Okay.
So when she wants to talk politics, she'll come on my channel. I'm like, hey, enjoy.
Yeah. Yeah.
Uh-oh. Someone put here, you dare to say woke people are not happy.
Is Sonia being serious?
Huh?
Is she
No, she's
being?
being funny. She's
Oh,
being
okay.
funny. She's being sassy too. She's like, you know, she rags on woke people all the time.
Oh, awesome. We would get along great. I love roasting them. Yeah, I've noticed that woke people can't really have good comebacks anymore either. The more
No.
the more you go this way, I'm doing left, by the way. The more you
Yeah.
go left, the less funnier you are. I've noticed that.
Well, yeah, because
Yeah.
when you limit language, because that's what they do, they're a language police. When you limit language, you limit being offensive, but offensive is funny. I was
Yeah.
like,
Right.
look at George Carlin. George Carlin was the master. Oh, you're probably too young to know who George Carlin is, right? It's
It sounds
okay.
familiar. I'm sorry. Yeah. I don't
It's
think I.
okay. You're too young. Go back and maybe tomorrow and next couple of days, go on YouTube, type in George Carlin, and he came up with a comedy bit called the seven dirty words you can't say on television. Because this was in the 70s.
Oh, okay.
And I
Yeah.
mean, but he died, but he was still a comedian, a big comedian in the 80s and the 90s. I think he died in 2008. So it's been over 10 years since he died.
Okay.
But he funny guy. He's a liberal, but
Liberal or
and I think if he was still alive right now,
yeah.
they'd consider him a right wing because of the
Oh
stuff that he
yeah.
would talk about. Because he
Oh
would
yeah.
kill this, he would kill the language police because he would have looked at it as what it is. It's tyranny
It is true.
disguised as politeness.
Yeah. Virtue signaling. Yeah. No.
Oh, okay. This is what Sonia said. When you said that your cam overheated, so that's why I was like, that's what I was referring to. So my camera went black because I said, you because I said woke people aren't happy.
Oh, I like that. That's a good one.
That's funny.
No,
Um,
but just jumping back to what you said about China, the was it three, four O's,
for olds, yeah.
four O's. Okay, yeah, I see a lot
I'll
of.
send it to you.
I'm sorry.
I'll send you the Wikipedia link so you could
Okay.
always have it to reference to.
Yeah, yeah, please do. No, I was gonna say that what's happening now correlates, I think, a lot with that. Um, and I don't think a lot of people realize this, but or some of them do. I think how the way I was explaining it to a friend the other day, there's different levels of awakeness. This woke obviously, but awake.
Yeah.
Privy to the things that's happening actually. Um, and because a lot of people think that it's just government, once you realize it's not just government, it's actually or it's not just the media, it's not just the
Mhm.
government. It's not just big tech. It's also this. It's also the families. It's also all of the stuff that they don't like, that they don't really talk about in the news. Um,
Mm.
and how everything is played out. From gender ideology, which this everybody that's watching this is coming from a trans woman. Gender ideology is a lie. Okay, I'm just gonna say that. Also, you know, taking down capitalism, uh, critical race theory, anti-American, all of these things. Did I say capitalism?
Yeah.
Yeah,
You
all of
said
this
taking
stuff.
down capitalism. Yeah.
Yeah, all of the stuff. You know, this is about that four O's. This is I truly do believe that. And a friend told me that we're either going to go full tyranny or we're going to become the new awakening where gets back to peace. It's going to go one of the two because this is not going to
I
last
can
long.
see what you're talking about. We're gonna, yeah, it's either gonna, there's
It's
gonna be a
not.
battle. There's, we're in a civil war, whether people want to admit it or not. It's not a hot civil war. We're in an
No,
ideological and a cultural civil war.
it is. Yeah.
And whoever wins this cultural civil war is depending which way the country goes.
Hmm.
You know, either you know, either the right, us libertarians, conservatives, either we win this cultural civil war and we go back to liberty and freedom, or or the Maoist win, and that's how I'll call them because, like I said, you know, they're following the playbook of Mao's China.
Right.
We're going to go into tyranny and oppression and communism.
Yeah, but if I'm being honest, I don't see it going to that because if you look at every common sense American, um, any person in general, but we're talking about America.
Mhm.
Most people think like you and I do. They're more
Mhm.
so middle ground. Uh, they understand what trans really is. They understand what LGBT is really about. They understand that everybody has opinions, just like I was gonna say something really crass. I'm not gonna do it. But the point being is that most people love America, and it's this fringe minority that's doing all of this stuff,
Mhm.
and
The
the media,
vocal minority.
yeah,
That's how I
and the
like to
media,
call it, the vocal.
yeah, exactly, yeah, and that's what I was gonna say. Like the media doesn't do us any justice, like because they give the microphone to these fringe minority people, like these small few people. You know, if you look at the vast majority of Americans, you know, we would be able to have conversations. We would be able to, and we are. I have different,
Mhm.
conversations with people all the time, and we walk away from each other being like friends. And it's not just me. It's them too. It's about communication. It's about understanding. It's about patriotism and love, because that's how you're going to win the world. Ultimately is through love. I do believe that, and understanding. Um, but if you lose that common sense mindset, you're not going to have that. You're going to have this anarchy, this breaking down societal norms, which, when I don't want to keep going, but I feel like I'm talking a lot, so I apologize. But
No, 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 no. I love
um,
I do this because I love the conversation. This is why I preferred this over, what I was doing before when I was just talking about the news and pulling up these articles. This is more fun.
yeah, no, no, I agree. I do. Um, but yeah, I tell people all the time.
Mm,
When I transitioned, this is for everybody that's watching. When I transitioned,
mm,
I I didn't do I didn't do it to take away from society or to change society. I didn't want that. I wanted to live with society. And be part of it. I wanted to get done with my transition and be a successful member of society, do my part, have a family, have a life, and just continue. I didn't want to deny anything. I didn't want to, I mean, obviously, I did want to, like, make sure I was safe and everything like that, the common sense things, but old school trans is not here anymore, like, it's not like that what we're talking about now is not the same thing. So, but, yeah, I'm sorry, I'm going all over the place now, but
no
um,
worries. Uh, Um, I was gonna say because it's almost an hour and a half. The only good thing is one of the
oh,
reasons why I changed my show to Mondays. I used to do
okay,
Wednesday live stream. I used to do it in the middle of the week. I'll do it an occasional middle of the week stream, like, but that one it can't be more than an hour because my wife is upstairs right now, so the kids are asleep, but at least someone's upstairs with the kids. I don't like
right,
to stay longer than an hour here while the kids are upstairs, even though they're sleeping.
hmm
It's just weird being down in my basement while they're upstairs. um, I mean, I could hear them and I have cameras, but I still, the father in me is just like, okay,
yeah, you need to be the protector.
yeah, pretty much, exactly. But
No,
no, definitely, I'd like to, have you back on. We could talk these issues. I know what issues we can't talk about, and like I said, when that happens, I want to be the first. I want to be the first.
I will let you know. Definitely, trust me.
it's it's like
Yeah.
when we can have that no holds bar conversation, it'll be like, forget YouTube, we're going straight to Rumble.
Oh yeah, we're gonna have a heyday with.
It'll be an un YouTube conversation that we would have we'd have to have because I'd
Yeah,
probably
because
get a strike for the stuff that we want to talk about.
yeah, I did. I should have known YouTube censors things. So
Well, no, don't. What we talked about, you know, I would win any type of strike that they would probably, because I've been fairly good at winning arguments when it comes to strikes.
mhm. Okay.
Because I've gotten two strikes and I won them both. Because I'm on warning, because like the first one's a warning, the second one's one strike, the third one's two strikes, and then the third one you're done. So I've
But see,
gotten strike.
this.
What happened?
I said the fact that you have to do this though.
Oh man, it sucked. I had a really good conversation with someone,
Hmm.
and it got striked on. So I did the show on Wednesday. It got struck on Thursday, and I didn't get back on till like that Thursday, the next till the Tuesday before my next show on Wednesday.
Wow.
Yeah,
No comment.
but I'm good at like I said, I'm pretty good at making sound arguments even with YouTube
Hmm.
because I'm is my thing's logic. If someone says something, and if I say something just because my guest said it, shouldn't be a strike against me.
Right. Strike. Yeah.
Especially let's say, if you say something and I go, oh, but what about this? And if I say something contradictory to what you're saying, if I'm pushing back what you're saying, then the conversation should be fine. It shouldn't
Mm.
be, oh, strike. So I've done a good job of explaining myself on uh, to the YouTube overlords.
That's right. Yeah.
That's my snarky way of doing it. Um, but yeah, no, let's end it here. Where are but don't sign off. I'll end the broadcast.
Okay.
Um, where uh do you like people to follow you on social media? You want
Yeah.
my followers to be able to where would you prefer to for them to look for you at?
So look for me on Instagram and Twitter. I'm gonna be posting a lot more soon. So, but you can find me on Laura underscore Mays underscore world for Instagram
Well,
and
I will also put it in the description just
oh,
to
okay,
make it easy. So you don't have to worry your mind. You can say so you're on Instagram and Twitter, and
yes,
for people who want to find her, I will post it on the description. I'll edit this. I should have did it earlier, but I'll do it now once we sign off. So, well, once again, I'm the right Rican. For the people who watched live, thank you for being with us for the past hour and a half. um, and for people who are watching this on the replay, thank you. Thank you for watching on the replay. And if you have any comments, questions, feel free to leave them, and I'll share them with Laura, and I'll get back to you.
thank you
So,
guys.
with that being said, uh, have a good one, everyone.